This is All Things Nerd Production.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Kobolds in the Basement podcast. My name is Chad Hillson. I will be your game manager for the evening. We are joined with Dave Morris.
Craving some fudge after busting that sludge. Caster Flamebeard.
And Schaloan Dysland.
I was blind, but now I see. Luminora.
And Steven Dysland.
Don't mess with my boy Tevin, or I'll be sending you to heaven. Valerian.
Perfect. So let's get into it. This is Kobolds in the Basement. Okay, now before we get started, let's do a quick recap of the last episode. So last episode, our heroes found themselves trekking through the still unknown land, learning very little from their travel companion, Tevin, who doesn't know much more than what he has been taught about the lands he calls home. It does resemble the nation of Sire from before the last war and the morning, but with distinct changes. The crew makes their way through some caverns, encountering some scavengers. Valerian gets mauled by a mountain lion and has his throat slashed and was having a hard time trying to speak normally, getting jabs and comments from the others about his new sounding voice. Eventually, they find their way to the outskirts of a town. In these outskirts and the outer regions, there are bodies that have been fossilized, almost as if they were fleeing something terrible before being turned to stone. Through talking with Tevin some more, they learn that the skies here have been darkened for over 300 years. Troubled by this news, Cass encourages the party to continue on toward safety, where once they reach the inner parts of the town, they find an inn and tavern that is open. It's occupied by several patrons. They settle in and set up accommodations for the night and grab something to eat and drink before Tevin goes wide-eyed and yells for everyone to get away from the doors and windows. During that time, sludge-covered monsters come busting into the tavern to wreak havoc, only for our heroes to jump into action to protect the other patrons and themselves from these sludge-infected monsters. Once the battle finishes, Tevin is clearly freaked out and wondering what happened and why they were targeted. And that's where we are now. So, you are all in this tavern. Black, dark, thick sludge covers the floor, some tables, chairs, walls, all of that. But things have calmed down.
Stout. I don't know why, I'm just really craving a stout all of a sudden.
The barkeep just kind of still from behind the bar just puts a glass on the bar top. It's a dark beer and just like ducks behind once more.
That'll do.
So in this aftermath, what are you all doing?
I
So
would like to
is this
check on-
normal around here, Tevin? Does this kind of stuff happen all the time, or what do we or is this not common everyday thing where these things come inside and start trashing the joint?
So like this isn't normal. I mean, we've heard about these types of monsters and that they're infected. But you don't come across them too much because most of the time, as you noticed while we were traveling, the sludge runs up to the sky. So sometimes people will be sick, but not to that point. But after enough time, sometimes people will go crazy, and unfortunately, they have to be killed so that they don't turn into more monsters like that. They call the sludge in the infected Blythe, I've never seen it in person though, and that was scary.
Hmm. And nobody knows where this sludge is coming from. It just seems to come off the trees and just float up to the sky.
Um, it the trees and floating up, but I mean it rains here a lot, and it seems like anytime that there's water that sits, that it starts to get gross like that and get dark and thick. So I mean most places like this, that's why ales and wines and stuff like that are cheap, but also they I mean, for as big of a building as this is, you know, there's a lot in the back where they filter the water to try and make it at least clean enough to drink so that people don't go thirsty.
So there's a chance that, like, you tell me there's a chance that there's some sludge crab in here?
What do you mean by in here?
In our water? In our drinks?
No,
I just cough and spit up some blood.
No, for that looks gross. But no, for the most part, like actual establishments like this, they'll filter a lot of it, and then most towns will have like a healer or a mage come through and like purify and clean things. I don't know all the logistics behind it, but unless you see anything floating in your water, it's usually pretty okay to drink.
Sounds good to me. But I'm a little disturbed by the fact that if water just sits on the ground, it turns black and sludgy like this stuff, and I hold up that vial of the black sludge I still have.
Yeah, I mean that's why we try to have people filter it and clean it, because we don't want to spread it. Normally after like a filtering process, they'll take whatever comes out of the filter and then they'll burn it, and that seems to work. I don't know how effective it is. I've just seen it back in my hometown.
This still sounds a lot like what we were seeing and hearing about before we went through that portal back in the Moorlands and other areas where we were hearing about black sludge everywhere, though it seems to be hundreds of times worse now. Question is, we gotta figure out where it's coming from. And
I wonder if it's something in the rain or if it's something in the ground.
Based on what we saw those kobolds doing, I think it's probably in the ground or in the water.
On the ground because it goes up the trees too.
Well, the trees would pull the water in, and then it would come out of the leaves of the tree. But we should probably just dig up a little spot of dirt and see if we can just literally see sludge in it.
So as you are debating as to how to figure out where this illness, or blight, as Tevin just referred to it as, is coming from, the barkeep does finally start to poke his head up from behind the bar, making sure that everything's okay, checking on the people in the back, but also asking if there's anything that he can do to accommodate you guys, thanking you so much. Just, thank you so much for protecting me in. Can I get you guys hot food, more drinks, a nice warm place to sleep tonight? After what you guys just did, I don't foresee any more problems, but anything I can do, let me know.
A good meal sounds really nice.
I think we could probably use a nice place to catch rest.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't have a lot of rooms, but I have 2 double rooms available. I'll let you guys decide how you want to split that. On the house, hot meals, and drinks and whatever you need.
All right. I want to go out and literally just dig up a little piece of dirt and see if I can find, sift through it and see any sludge. But I also think we should check out some of the buildings around here. see if there's anything useful in them. But we got to figure out where the stuff's coming from. Like, we saw those kobolds dumping it into the water back in the Moorland. So we need to figure out how long ago all this happened. That was one of the main reasons we came here, was looking for some way to look up a history or something to figure out where we are and how long it's been like this. Thoughts?
Yeah, can I say a side note quick?
Mhm.
Like out of recording here. So, last session, right before we got in the fight, Cass did spend 1 gold for like room, food, and drinks. So I don't know if that matters like anything for like recording sake, if it clashes or something. I don't know.
You could always call out the barkeep and see if he gives it back, but that's completely up to you.
Mm. Okay. Sorry, back in.
So what are y'all doing?
Let's see.
I'd like to check out some of the Cass, what you said. I would like to check out some of the buildings, see if there's some useful things. Maybe we can come across something to get some more knowledge on what's happening.
Evan, you familiar with this town at all?
Oh, no. I'm sorry, but this is shortly after you guys found me was the furthest I'd ever been from home, and now I'm further, so no.
Alright. Well, I'm okay to go check out some of the stuff now before we rest. I think it's probably better to do it that way than do it first thing in the morning.
I think I'm gonna see if I can find any water or traces of this sludge around to see if I could study it a little bit.
Sure. Alright, let's check out this town.
Yep, already when you guys are.
All right. So as you guys step out of the tavern, you kind of make your way back down the pathway that you came up to some of these buildings, where you see some of these fossilized bodies just dried almost as if it was made from a different clay of what looks to be like blood splatters, but it's just ingrained in the stonework, everything like that. And then there are several buildings, 4 to 5 small buildings. You know, one looks kind of be like a cottage, one almost like it might have been some sort of storefront, but they look fairly abandoned. As you make your way kind of like through the town back the way that you had came. So what are you guys looking for?
So the first thing I'm going to do is just literally, when we get out to the side of the ground, is just reach down with my hands and try to scoop up like a nice handful of this dirt and just kind of sift through it to see if I see anything. And looking for that sludge to see if it's already in the ground.
Okay. Give me an investigation check. So with a 6.
Well, I do get to add a D4 to it.
Oh, my bad. Throw up that D4.
That's an 8 now.
Well, with an 8, as you sift through this, you know, it seems to be not super dry, but it's not like mud at all either. Kind of think like wet sand texture. As you're kind of like sifting it through your fingers, you don't see any like clumps or anything like that. It just seems to be kind of like wet dirt.
Well, not seeing anything directly in there. I have some other ideas. I don't know about you two.
Yeah, I think while he's digging in the dirt, I'm gonna see if I can notice any puddles or anything. You know, I don't know if it's rained recently or not, but just to see if I can find any fresh water, so to speak.
I was gonna say I would like to see if the environment around us is wet or dry, or what kind of state that's in.
Well, I mean, just because you've walked through the town, both to the tavern and in and back, it's not actively raining, but you can tell that rain has fallen within the past day. You know, the ground is not incredibly dry or overly saturated, you know, so there is some moisture there in the ground. And then Valerian, give me an investigation check as you look for like standing water.
At 20.
So with a nat 20, Okay. So with a nat 20, you do see outside of a couple of the buildings, there's, like barrels, and there's like water kind of in that lip of the barrel, but not a lot of like puddles or anything like that. Enough time has passed to where any sort of puddles must have been reabsorbed back into the ground.
Can I look at the water and see? Do I have put it in? See if I have something empty that I can scoop up some of that water to put into like a vial or a skin or something.
Do you have like an explorer's pack or anything like that? Or
I'm checking it now.
So I'm sure with like an explorer's pack, there's probably a couple of little like glass jars or anything like that to help with rationing, but.
I do not have an explorer's pack. I have thieves' tools.
I have an explorer's pack. I could give you a vial.
I would
let's
really appreciate it.
Roll for me. Just do a raw luck check. Wow, strong.
What?
A raw luck check to see if you have any empty sort of things in there.
16.
For Luminora.
Oh, scratch that.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. 14.
So with a 14, you have a choice to make. You don't have any like empty jars or empty vials or anything like that, but you do have a water skin. Do you want to try and scoop some water into this water skin?
I feel like I don't want to contaminate my water skin.
Well, I have a water skin too. I can just throw it in there.
You can run the risk of contaminating it if you want to, or you might
actually,
be fine. Who knows?
Actually, I'll empty out what is currently in my water skin, and then scoop as much of this water into it as I can.
Okay, roll me a d10.
3.
You fill about a third of what was there.
Take it.
While they're doing that, I want to go look at see if there's like a small one of these plants that's like giving off the black stuff up into the air.
Okay. Are you looking for something specific or just trying to find?
Well, first I want to find one of those plants, that's where it's coming off, like a smaller one, not like a full-on tree, maybe like a little shrub or something.
Okay. Yeah. Give me either a nature or a survival check. Call it a DC 13.
That is a nat 20.
So not directly next to the buildings, but kind of like at the tree line, kind of like at the perimeter, a little ways away. You do see, some of the trees at first you notice are kind of giving off this reverse rain of sludge. But you do notice that there's about a medium-sized shrub and bush comes up to, about your chest height. That is also giving off some of this sludge that's just floating to the sky.
All right, I want to take like maybe the haft of my warhammer, and I'll just use the warhammer itself. I want to try to break one of the branches on this, like one of the thicker branches, so I can see inside.
Okay. Give me a strength check. Super low, DC 10.
Yep, there's a 13.
Yeah, so with a 13, because of the shape of the shrub, you kind of have to go kind of low. You almost like split this shrubbery in half. But on the inside, almost, even though it's a shrub, it almost looks like there's like veins of this sludge like coursing through the thicker part of the branch. Not quite following the true like rings of like a tree or plants or anything like that. It almost looks like veins going through it.
All right.
Give me a perception check as well, Cass.
Really wish I had proficiency.
Okay. So with a 9, you do notice like these veins, but as you're holding it after breaking it open, you notice that the part that would be going up through the branch that would then lead to the leaves and foliage that would lead up into the sky, you notice that it just starts to fade after breaking it.
Alright, well, I'd say probably the next step is I want to smash the trunk of this thing.
Okay. Either give me an attack roll or just strength.
That is a 24.
Yeah, it turns into basically paste. As you hit it, some of the sludge just starts oozing out and then immediately starts to absorb back into the ground. And it almost creates like a very low flowing fountain.
Alright, the plants are pulling this stuff up from somewhere. That's what I was afraid of. We gotta find the source.
Seems like it would be underground.
Underground or wherever this water source comes from. But meantime, I'm gonna go look at that old store, see if there's anything useful inside.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'll go in there too.
Right, so are you looking for anything specific?
I want to look for empty bottles or vials, anything of the sort.
Give me an investigation check.
12?
With the 12, you find a couple of like empty jars. You find about 3 jars, but only 1 lid.
Okay.
Let's see if there's any kind of tools or anything that might still be usable. And I'm not expecting any kind of perishable to be here. I'm looking for like, metal or wood, metal tools, or maybe even weapons or anything that just might be left over. Heck, who knows? There might be a hidden place, a hidden thing in here that you guys are probably better at finding those things than me.
Yeah, give me... Yeah, let's stick with investigation. Give me an investigation. Let's call it a DC 13 for this.
Can I give him the help action?
Are you proficient in investigation?
No. Okay, so you have to be proficient to give the help?
I'm gonna start kind of like making that be a thing, so we're not just not everyone's just giving the help action.
Okay, yeah.
Anytime that makes sense. Or if you want to see if you can roll, you can give me an investigation first. If you beat a DC 10, then you can give the help action. It's a cool rule that I picked up from Dave here.
Okay, but if I do that, it's not going to take away Dave's roll, right?
Nope, it'll just means that he'll get advantage from here since you rolled that 12. Or
An 11.
Oh, the 12 was your earlier one. My bad.
You just made it.
So, yeah, go ahead, Cass. Roll with advantage for investigation.
I suppose you can give me any guidance on this, could you?
Sure.
I know those spells.
Cool.
You just say, yes, I'm giving you guidance.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, you can describe how you give him guidance if you would like. Like, good luck, bud.
It sits in a corner. Look over there. Yeah, check there too.
Can I my palm glow like a bluish tint and I lay it on his shoulder?
Yeah, absolutely. If that's how you want your guidance to work, let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that.
All right, so investigation with advantage, and now plus 2d4.
You better find something here.
Oh, come on, bud.
Oh, thank goodness for advantage.
Jesus.
It always blows my mind when I see a 0 rolled.
So that is a total of a 17.
17. So as you're looking around, I mean, you do find basic tools, pliers, hammers,
shovel in there?
things like that.
I was thinking more like a actual set of tool, alchemist tools, leatherwork, those kind of actual tool kits.
Oh, you do find a set of thieves' tools. There, as well as you're looking around, you do find 3 different locked chests, and then a pickaxe as well.
Only we had somebody that was good at that stuff. Did you find anything?
I found some chests and a set of thieves' tools. So,
Out of recording. So if you were to use thieves tools, is that a single use item, or is that?
I'm not playing Baldur's Gate, so no.
I just didn't know.
Unless you failed horribly, they might break.
Okay.
But it's not like if you succeed, you also lose them sort of deal.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, they're not intended to be consumables.
Gotcha.
Unless,
Okay.
like you said, you really botch your roll and then they might snap.
Fair enough.
Well,
Like a botched roll.
Yep.
Ew.
So,
I'm gonna see if I can get one of these open.
Yeah, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to take these thieves' tools because I can actually know how to use them. Not very good, but I can use them.
So what are you doing?
Oh, is that the Locker Picker 2000? I've got the 3000 model, but that's cool, man.
This might be the 1000.
I'm gonna try to unlock one of these chests.
Okay. Use your thieves' tools.
That's a sleight of hand.
Over in the
You can just
tool
click
section.
on thieves' tools.
Yeah, you click on thieves' tools and you'll probably query attribute and you just want to pick dexterity. And then I think you have expertise, don't you?
In dexterity.
Or in thieves' tools.
I believe you do.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Tool proficiency. Oh, here we go. It has a question mark on it.
Yeah, that's because it doesn't. Yeah, so click on the little gear.
Okay.
Oh,
yes, expertise.
yeah, expertise, and then attribute, just set it to dexterity.
Dexterity. No modifier.
No, because your dex is your mod. Mods
Okay.
would be like if you had like an additional +1 or something to it.
Okay, well, I don't. Oh, it's because I clicked on it like 6 times. That's why. So yeah, just go with 24.
Well, yeah, with your first roll of 24,
24.
as you're fidgeting around with the first chest with your lockpicker 3000, as you said, it very, very easily you're able to get in there, just and then it pops open, and as you open it, in this first chest you do find 15 gold and a greater healing potion.
But that stuff's past its expiration date.
Just kind of like uncork it and sniff it. Smells fine.
What else are you guys doing while you're in there?
Alright, well. Should probably try to get these other chests open. Let's see if there's any like back rooms or anything.
Well, however you want to do it, if you want to search back rooms and things like that, give me an investigation check. If you want to crack open into these chests, either give me a thieves tool or a sleight of hand, or if you just want to use brute force, then give me a strength. However you want to do it.
Smash it open.
Alright. I'll let Valerian, he seems to be much better at it, open these other 2 chests. I'm gonna check for the back rooms.
Right?
Yes.
Never mind. That's a 2.
As you're walking around, you see some very, the bread is turned to bricks at this point in time, and there's sacks of, like wheat and barley and things like that, but it all just smells stale in these back rooms. And then Valerian, give me 2 more thieves tools checks. 20 and 25 both do it.
Awesome.
Sorry for speaking over you instead of letting you call out your own rolls. That's
Oh, you're
rude.
fine.
But both of those rolls do it. With the second chest, just as smoothly as the first, just takes you a couple seconds. Just lock pops open. As you lift it, a little bit of dust comes out. In this one, you find 10 gold. You see it's like a pale gray glowing potion vial. And then there's 10 gold
There was 10 gold in the third one.
in the second one.
Oh, and so okay.
And then the third one, you barely even have to wiggle your tools. They just go in, just the lock pops open. And in that, you find another greater healing potion and another 15 gold.
Beautiful.
Anything useful in those?
No, didn't find anything. No. I got some healing potions. Anybody want some? Need some?
I've got.
Just coughs up some more blood.
I've got 2 on me, so I'm okay for greater healings. Plus, I still have my my other healing abilities. So I'm okay.
I'm good.
So you can hold on for now.
Yeah, I'll just
If we end up using some later, then we can divvy them up.
I just look at one of them, like, kind of clutching my throat. It's got a giant gash in it. I'm just like, well, I'll just wait. Oh, I found this too. And I show him the gray glowing potion.
I really wish I had the ability to figure out what the heck that is. That was more my grandfather's forte.
Suppose I could always just drink it, see what happens.
Yeah. If you turn into a frog or something, I'll probably eat you. Sorry, I just gotta warn you.
Would a Arcana check be useful in identifying potions?
Kind of depends. In this case, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Unless you're also proficient in medicine, or something like that, where you have a couple of proficiencies where you might be able to figure it out, but it still won't be a definite answer.
Okay. Just curious.
You mean my proficiency in acrobatics doesn't help me figure this out?
I would like to look for books, if there's any intact books around this shop.
Or scrolls.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
That is an 8.
You don't find anything. I mean, a lot of these books are old, they're dusty, they smell musty. Eminem, you can use that line if you want to. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot here.
Alright. Well, do we want to go check out the little cottage next? Maybe there's something kind of records. I don't know. We need to find information, and I don't think the store's going to have any.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys move on over to the cottage. It's very humble. It's all one floor, no stairs up or down. Not even really separate rooms. There's a little outhouse in the back, and then just half walls. Not a lot of doors once you're actually inside. And what are you looking for here?
Anything that could be useful, I think.
General.
Yeah, give me a general investigation check.
I can keep going my -1, but
I have a +2.
I have a 0, so.
Okay. And that's a nat 1.
at least it's not a 0.
For a second, as Valerian is looking around, he thinks to himself, there's not as much dust as I thought that there would be. Someone probably still lives here and they're just lazy. We should get going.
Now that I think about it.
Can I make a check, or were you one and done?
You can do a check too. I'll allow 2 checks for this.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I still get a D4. Let's see if I can do better than him.
Oh my god. Nat 0.
It's a 2.
As Valerian's talking to himself, it's really not that dirty here. I bet someone still lives here. Oh my god, did we just break into this person's house? Cass, you walk up behind him, you put your hand on his shoulder, and you just kind of think to yourself, I think we just broke into someone's house.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here. Let's go check out another building.
That was gold.
So,
Oh my god, 2 nat ones back to back. That's
let's do it.
fantastic.
1 in 400.
I have a bad feeling about this place.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting the creeps.
I'm sorry.
So
I feel stupid for even coming in here.
you head into this other storefront, going, stepping in there, there's a counter, there is a back room. It's kind of like, it looks very similar to the first building that you guys were in. Everyone give me an investigation check.
Let's see if we can go for 1 in 8,000.
15.
It's a solid 8. Oh, you know what? I still have J. Edgar, don't I?
Do you? I think you do.
Pretty sure.
I've got a 10.
I'm fairly positive, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Can I say that he gave me the help action?
I mean, does he have dark vision or anything like that? That could help you for inside
That's a solid question.
investigations and stuff like that. Let's start with...
He has keen and hearing. He has keen hearing and sight.
Okay. Then yes, I'll allow that if he's just kind of like perked up on your shoulder. But let's start with Cass, rolling a fantastic 10. This looks like the same shop that you were in before, just across the street, because you can like see the shop that you came from, but it looks the same. Luminora, Luminora with a 15. As you are making your way through it, I mean, you're seeing there's stores and wares of supplies and stuff like that this shop would normally sell, but it all seems stale and out of date. And then Valerian with a 20 through the help of Jagger, you see the same thing. It just looks like a stale, old, rundown, and slightly abandoned shop.
Is this including the back room as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
At least
just kinda call out,
somebody's
like-
house.
Is there anybody here?
Uh,
Knock, knock.
I think we probably had to get back to. We can go back to the tavern, maybe ask the people there, figure out where we can go to get some answers.
As you guys are stepping out of the shop, you see Tevin walking down the street towards you. I mean, he was enjoying his food. He was very freaked out, so he just like needed a moment just to like warm up and calm down. In the end, but you see him walking down the street towards you guys, and he's like, "Hey guys, so I was, as I was eating, I guess I just kind of like zoned out and didn't realize that you guys left, but you left a lot of your stuff, so I wasn't too worried about that. But I was talking with the innkeeper, and he said that if we go south, that there's a lot more people over there that would maybe know more about this. There's rumors of, and I know that you guys are much more experienced than I am, but don't freak out. That there's like a crime syndicate that knows a lot of like secrets. But it's about a couple days ride south from here. Again, I'm sorry. You guys do what you want with that, but that's just what I gathered, and he could be lying to me because I'm young and dumb and don't know anything.
All right. Well, we can probably head off that way after our night's rest. But the only other thing we might want to figure out is where the water for this town comes from, because the plants are soaking it up, and then it's coming out of them. And then we can maybe go to the source. See if we're finding more kobolds dumping barrels into it or something. Stuff's got to be coming from somewhere. Or something making it and pumping it in there. Like a creature or something, who knows?
Yeah, I think that people here don't know much more than what I do. So I think that finding a bigger population might be able to help us get those answers.
All right.
I
Well,
think the kid's right.
I think we should then probably get ourselves a long rest and then head out to the next town. Try to find that bigger town with more information.
Yeah, and water sources.
Yep.
Yo.
All right. So, you guys get your long rest.
Woo.
So everyone heals, gets all their spell slots back, and then as the morning sun, if you want to call it that, just the super dark with a tint of red sky starts to become a little bit more red as the day starts to break.
I think my eyes are getting better. Instead of a big dark blur, I see a big light blur.
I get it. I get that one.
Well, but yeah, so you set off in the morning. You start making your way south. Tevin is talking to you guys. So the barkeep kind of gave me they're not the best of directions, but he kind of wrote out some landmarks. As you can see right over here, there's this little creek that is going to kind of we followed for a little bit, then it's going to turn away from us, but we keep going straight south. And then eventually there will be a bigger lake that's part of a runoff from Lake Sire. And that'll probably get us kind of towards the end of the day. So we can camp there, or at least close to it. The barkeep did say that this lake is really unique because it is just clean water. For some reason it hasn't been contaminated. They don't have to filter its water, so a lot of people will travel to try and get water, especially during drier times. And then from there, the next day, it's only about a half day to get anywhere, to get to the main road and this town that they're talking about, where it might be dangerous, but it sounds like it has answers.
Well, I don't have any other ideas. I guess we can start, making our way towards the pure lake. I guess I'll be curious to see what's around there. Honestly, if it's not contaminated, maybe there's something useful there. If we can figure out why it's not contaminated, maybe we can do something similar to clean up other spots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll follow what directions I've been given. Do you guys need help carrying anything or anything like that?
I'm good. I'm not packing up, too much weight for me. So,
Okay.
As you guys look at me, you guys kind of notice that I've got some bandages around my throat now, and not actively bleeding anymore.
I just looked at how much weight I'm actually carrying. It's kind of funny.
How much is it?
175 pounds.
Oh,
Valerian, how are you feeling? How's the throat?
I feel a lot better.
That's
Thank you
good.
for asking, Tevin.
Yeah,
You're a kind lad.
Oh, thanks. You sound better.
I feel better.
That's good. But let's get going, because traveling anywhere here at night is worse.
I'm not worried too much about that, but yeah, it's best to just travel with what light we have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as you guys are traveling, is there anything that you guys are wanting to talk about? Things that happened last night, or theories or anything like that? As you're making your way, it's probably 6 or 7 hours worth of hiking to get to this clean lake.
So I'd like to ask Luminora, because she had indicated she had seen some sickness and stuff like this before, if any of this sounds familiar to what she had encountered.
Not at all. This is something I would have never imagined in my wildest dreams. Before I saw people and crops kind of inflicted by this, but nothing of this sort to this extreme. I mean, going up in the sky, that's just crazy.
And maybe what you were seeing was just the very first stage of it. Maybe this was the end game. I mean, if you live underground like the Dalkir do, what would be the best way to make the surface more comfortable? Blot out the sun.
Mm.
Now creatures that are sensitive to light and live underground are able to walk freely up here.
Right.
Which is terrifying.
Well, we have a lot of theories, and none of them point to anything good.
I mean,
I like each one less and less.
well, we had the mind flayers, and then we got pulled here. But yeah, mind flayers are terrifying enough. I really don't want to run into one of those anytime soon. Tevin, have you ever heard of mind flayers or creatures with like tentacle-like faces?
I mean, we learned about them in school. But I haven't heard or have heard of anyone else encountering anything like that nearby or around here. But also around here is so far from where I grew up, so I don't know. I've learned about them, at least a little.
I used to hear stories about people wanting to mate with them. Kind of gross, but
Yeah, that's really weird.
What?
oh yeah, it's disgusting. Baldur's Gate reference.
So as you guys are making your way downtown and walking fast, no, as you guys are traveling a little bit more, you do start to see the shoreline of this lake come up, and even in this light, you can tell that the water looks different than any other standing water that you've seen since you've been here in this land. It just looks like a normal, clear, clean lake. As you kind of get to the shoreline, there is a little bit of a dock. It's about 15 feet long into the actual water, about 10 feet wide. You do see that there are some worn down boats sitting around it, both on the shore right next to the dock, but they all have water. They've all taken on water. They don't look like it's something that you can like paddle out in. But yeah, so while you are here, Tevin kind of suggests, from what I was told from the innkeeper, is that this is a good place where we can get some actual like fish and food that is clean water, as well as a safe place that's far enough away from the main road in the town that we're kind of heading towards to camp and revitalize ourselves before we start to investigate more. So I'm gonna go just up the beach a little bit towards the tree line to find some like wood and stuff like that, and see if I can't find anything that we can use for food. If that's okay with you guys.
Yeah,
I would
Just stay within earshot.
I would like a little. Yeah, I won't go too far. I won't go into the woods, but yeah.
Well, you guys want to go with them?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be walking around by themselves.
Tevin, you mind if I tag along with you?
That would be really awesome. Actually, be nice to have someone come with.
All right, guys, we're gonna go collect some firewood.
I want to go up to the shore and just try to look around the lake, see if there's anything just stands out and looks different. Like, try to figure out if something is the source of why this lake is still clean.
Okay. Give me. Let's start with, like either a medicine or survival check. Call it a DC 12.
That's only a 5.
So with a 5, I mean, from what you can see, the water looks clean, but you can't be certain as you're kind of like right up to the shore. You know, it looks like a nice clean lake, but as you're looking at the shore, as you know, sediment and stuff like that is being stirred up just from gradual slight wind and stuff like that. You don't know if this is actually clean water or not.
Can I look at my water skin to see if the water inside that changed at all?
Yeah. Are you gonna just like look into it, or are you gonna pour a little bit of it out?
See if I can notice anything just by looking in, and if I can't, then maybe I'll just like pour a little bit onto the, just a few drops onto like the sand or something in the.
Okay. So as you look into it, it's a water skin. There's not a lot of light. You can't really see into it.
Fair.
So if you're going to drop out a few drops, just give me... you're dropping out a few drops. It's totally fine. The water looks the same as what it was as you put it in. There really isn't need to do a roll for that. You know, it was standing water, but it had never touched earth. While it was on those barrels before you scooped it. Now, as you pour it out a little bit onto the sand, it just looks like water coming out.
Sweet.
Anything else that Cass and Valerian are doing or looking for while you're there? Are you checking for wildlife, trying to catch food, gather supplies? Or are you just investigating everything that's going around?
I'm just kind of looking around, like I said, just trying to figure out what the heck's making this place different.
Is there any like woods or anything near us at all, or no?
The tree line and stuff like that is about 75 feet away. That's where Luminora and Tevin are walking towards to get some firewood and anything else that they can find for camp.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm probably just walking around the cast and looking around.
Okay. Perfect. So Luminara will jump over to you as you are accompanying Tevin as he's walking towards the tree line to find like firewood, any sort of food or supplies from like berries and herbs and stuff like that. Is there anything that you're looking for? Anything you want to discuss? Anything like that?
Well, to start, I guess I would be looking for, food, or maybe any kind of like small game,
Okay.
like tracks or trails, I should say.
Looking for like tracks and trails. Okay. Give me a investigation check at DC 14.
18.
Okay. So as you're looking around for like tracks for like game or anything like that, you do notice, even though about 75 feet from the shoreline is where this tree line is, you do notice that even though it's not very windy, that the moisture up on that shore and sand and stuff like that seems to go a little bit further than what you would expect it to. But on top of that, you really don't see any like tracks for wildlife. You do see some like bushes with like berries. You do see some small patches of like mushrooms and stuff like that growing that that are safe to eat. And then, some fallen like twigs and wood and stuff like that for a campfire.
Okay. I will pick the mushrooms. I'm going to pick the berries as well, but gotta keep them separate. I don't know how much I trust eating something off of these bushes. And pick up some firewood. But Tevin, how are you doing? Being so far away from home, and I know all this is very new to you. How are you holding up?
I'm trying. It's scary, but I'm glad that you guys are here because I don't think I could do this on my own. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're so glad to have you with us.
Thank you. How are you? After last night, I saw that you got hit hard a couple of times from those things.
Oh, nothing. A long rest, good nights of sleep won't heal. I'm doing okay. Maybe a little sore, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, I get that.
I'd pick up like some fire sticks and hand it to him.
He takes them and kind of like straightens up a little bit. Like now he feels like he's not just doing this, but also helping you. So he like stiffens up and starts moving a little bit faster. And we're gonna cut back to Valerian, Cass, and as you guys are kind of along the shore, what are you still just kind of like looking around? Are you exploring? Are you setting up camp up shore a little bit? Like what are you looking to do?
They said they could fish. I might try to catch a couple.
Okay. Are you going to go out from the dock, or are you just gonna kind of wade into the water?
I'll probably wade into the water a little bit, and I got my spear, so I'm going spear fishing.
Okay.
I think I'll go onto the dock and just kind of like hang out with my crossbow just to see if I can bolt some fish.
Yeah, I know it's not the most official of rules, but if you guys do have rope, I'd allow you to tie them onto whatever you have to create a makeshift fishing rod, or spear fishing with a rope attached.
Oh yeah, I got 50 feet of rope, but
okay.
So
let's do a survival or an animal handling check. Call it a DC 18 for both of you as you are spear/bolt fishing.
solid 7.
You missed.
that is another natural one. I am rolling like on fire.
And at that point in time, Valerian shoots his crossbow with a little bit of rope attached to it, trying to basically create a makeshift harpoon. Misses the fish, it swims away, and as he starts to grab his rope to start pulling in that bolt to be reused, suddenly a spear goes through the rope, and that bolt is lost. And Cass is just standing there like, oh, my bad.
Just kind of like slowly turn my head towards him. Just very blank expression.
Not my day, apparently.
You owe me a bolt now.
Fine. We need to find some better, if I really wanted to go crazy, I could get us a lot of fish, but that'd be kind of wasteful.
Can I cast sleep on the fish?
No. I'm not even going to entertain that. No.
I cast sleep on the lake.
No, you don't. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, so you guys aren't having any luck fishing. And I felt bad for how I said this off camera. Valerian, does Jagger want to try and fish?
Yeah, he'll swipe in, try to grab something.
Does he have like a nature survival check, or do you just want to do like a talent attack or whatever? I don't know what all of his skill sets are, because I don't have it pulled up in front of me.
Doesn't have many. No, but he can do talents. That's about it.
Yeah, have him do a talent strike or whatever.
It's a nat 20.
This is what I get.
Yes.
He grabs the fattest fish and just flies it back to you, drops it. Valerian, you said that you were kind of like sitting back. Are you sitting on the dock? Because I know that Cass is kind of like waded into the water a little bit. Are you sitting on the dock, or are you just sitting up on the shore?
I'm on the dock.
Okay. Perfect. Jagger, grabs the fish, flies it back to kind of where the campsite is being set up, a little ways away. And then can everyone give me a perception check?
I just imagine this fish being like 3 times the size of him. It's just
Oh, it's weird
He's
how
flat.
big this fish is that this owl got it.
Like me with Tevin too.
Yeah, but Luminora, all 3 of you guys.
That is a 17.
14 for me.
11. The
Oh.
lowest.
Hey.
It's got to be somebody.
Yeah. It's me this time. It's okay.
If you're not first, you're last.
So let's start with Luminora. As you are talking with Tevin, getting, some firewood, grabbing some mushrooms, some berries, things like that, just chatting, all that, you're just kind of going about your evening. You don't really notice a whole lot. Valerian with a 14, you do start to feel a little uneasy, almost like you are being watched, but you can't quite figure out why or where that feeling is coming from.
I've got the EBGBs.
And then Cass with a 17, you notice that even though you've kind of waded into the water a little bit, so not like the ripples or anything that's coming off of like your footprints or your steps or anything like that, you notice that the water is kind of stirring. There's ripples and little waves that are kind of crashing into your legs onto shore that kind of don't make sense for the little amount of wind that is in the air. How do you guys react to this?
I think something's coming. I'm gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm getting up. I'm getting off the dock. I kind of don't like how I'm feeling.
I'm gonna slowly back up and put my shield out and get the spear and all back on the shield as I back up slowly.
Okay. So as Valerian is starting to make his way back up the dock, Cass, you have your shield out, got the spear. Luminora and Tevin are just having a grand old time picking berries and having fun. You hear this big just splash in the middle of the lake as water erupts. These 6 massive tentacles erupt from the water with just a outlandish, just roaring noise. As the tentacles are swinging through the air, you notice that they look shiny and slick. They are pitch black, a little shimmering and reflecting the crimson of the sky, just very slightly. 2 of the tentacles slap down to the far ends of the shore, not anywhere near you, as 4 more come slashing down onto the shore right by you. And I need Valerian and Cass to both make dexterity saving throws for me. Sorry for the interruption, dear heroes, but I just have to ask. Are you like me and my friends, where your food tends to be lacking just a little something extra? If you are, then look no further than Crybaby Craig's hot sauce to fix all of your spicy and saucy needs. Because this pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce will go on practically anything. It was started by Craig himself in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, and this sauce has become a staple of all hot sauces and flavor enhancers across the lands for many, many moons. If you don't believe me, go and check out crybabycraigs.com and order yours today to, quite frankly, just better your life. Or at least your taste buds. But be sure to let them know that we sent you and enjoy the best damn hot sauce there is. Now, let's get back to the show.
I'm in danger.
I am screwed on that.
A nat 1.
We both rolled that one again.
Oh, what
Are
the
you
Zero,
kidding me?
baby.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I got a
Oh
6
my
with the nat 1
goodness.
notice. That's gotta count for something.
Not only can you guys not fish very well, but you can't dodge.
I'm not built to dodge.
If you can't dodge a fish. You can't dodge a ball. I don't know, something like that. Oh my goodness.
Don't teach me how to fish. Teach me how to dodge.
First off,
Again, I'm only good for hitting stuff. Apparently, this is not.
so this is going to be really unfortunate. So one tentacle comes down, smashes into the dock, just pins Valerian down. This, two more hit the sides of the shore, and then the fourth one comes down on Cass, just pinning him down just slightly underwater. Both of you take 8 points of damage.
Ugh.
And unfortunately, because everyone needs to roll for initiative,
Not myself and Tevin, right?
we're all gonna roll for initiative at this point in time.
Okay.
I'll just type it in because again, that's unfortunate.
It's an 8 for me.
8. Tevin got a nat 20 or a 21.
That is an 18 for me. My -1.
So just so that Valerian and Cass know, you will need to make a strength save. It will be at the start of your turn, and if you succeed, it'll still take away half of your movement. But because you're pinned under it, under these tentacles, there's really nothing that you can actually do. Okay, how do I pull up that initiative order? I apologize for 1 second while I do this.
I got a 13, but it's not. I did it from my character sheet.
No,
It came up in the chat.
Okay, so it's it good because it said you wanted to send the result of this roll.
That's because we didn't have a token.
yeah, because we don't have the tokens on there, so
Okay, so everything's all right. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
All right, I got a 13.
what is going on here? There we go. Monster. Okay. And then Valerian, you had an 8.
8.
Luminora had a 13. The monster had a 15. Okay. So at the top of this order, all this just happens. I mean, it makes a huge sound. So Luminara, you would have heard this as well.
Okay.
From the shoreline, you are about 75 feet away from where this happens. The tentacles go up about 15 to 20 feet. So it's either you're going to have to dash or find a way to do some sort of range when it gets to your turn. But Tevin, first thing, is going to start running towards the shore as he hears this loud roar, this crash, the sound of splintering wood, looks over his shoulder and no longer can see Valerian or Cass. So he's going to start running his way up towards the shore. Can only get about 30 feet, so he's still about 45 feet away. So what he's going to do is he's going to cast Hunter's Mark on one of the tentacles, and then use his crossbow to fire. I thought he had a longbow. He does not. And rolls a nat 20.
Hey,
Right off the bat. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, only does 13 damage right off of the bat. And as he's doing that, he's calling out to Luminora, like, Cass and Valerian are gone. What's going on? We gotta help them. What is this monster? Please come help.
Yeah, right behind you.
And that's going to go to Cass.
All right, so he said I can't do anything other than try to break free.
If you pass, you will have half of your movement and still the rest of your action. If you fail, you can use your action to get out, but then you will be right next to it.
All right, well, let's see if I break out. I got decent bonus to my strength.
Not a super high roll. With the 12, you get up, so you get half of your movement and can still attack.
All right, let's see how you like this thing, and I'm gonna just since I said I had my spear, I will stab it with my spear. That is a 20 to hit.
Yeah, I guess a 20 does hit that thing.
That is 7 damage.
For 7 damage. Okay.
And with my bonus action, I will smack it with the spear butt.
Spear butt.
That's only a 10.
10 misses.
And, well, that's my turn.
All right. Well, that comes down to this sludge monster. As the water starts to kind of settle around from where it erupted out from, you do see this dome-like structure or shape. Not really a structure because it's a living thing with, I mean, it is so black in the center here that even the little bit of light is not really reflecting, but you do see several dark red circles that you can only assume are eyes, just looking in all directions, especially looking out at you guys. And with that, what it's going to do is it is going to, from its tentacles, you just notice that it kind of like flexes just a little bit, like it tenses up for a second, and then these like spikes kind of jut out from it, but it's just this black. It doesn't look like thorns or anything like that. It just juts out towards Cass. And that is a 7 to hit.
Nah, not gonna really hit.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So that's all that it can really do at this point in time. So then that's going to go to Luminora.
Okay, so I am 75 feet from the shore, and then how far from the tentacles? You said 15, 20 feet?
The tentacles go about 20-ish feet up the shore, so you're about 45 feet away. 50 feet.
Okay, I am going to dash.
Math is hard.
I'm going to dash, so that'll be 30 feet.
Okay.
And that's about all I can do. Yeah, so it'll be the end of my turn.
Well, I mean, if you're only going 30 feet, you should have something ranged. If you're going to do a full dash, you can go 60.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll go the 30 feet. I don't know why I was thinking that a dash just takes, like, my full movement. I don't know. A major brain fart. I'm sorry. Okay, I am going to go my full 30 feet, and I am going to do Chill Touch. See what this does. 25 to hit.
25 does hit
4 damage.
for 4 damage. Okay.
Necrotic.
Why did it roll twice?
What?
That's a good question.
Should be 3.
I know, I just hit Chill Touch.
Yeah, it might have double clicked or something. Because you only roll 1d8 damage.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then, Valerian, this is you. While you are just underwater with wood splinters all around you. I mean, it's not the deepest of water, but there is just this large tentacle on top of you.
Just cussing and swearing, even though it's just muffled noises because this thing's on top of me. But I'll try to get out of here. So 18 can help me get out.
An 18 will definitely get you out from underneath it. Your movement has been halved for this round. But yeah, take the rest of
And
your
is that my action?
Nope.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm going to try to run. I'm just going to use the second half of my movement to run the complete exact opposite direction of this thing. So about 15 feet.
Okay. And then anything else that you want to do?
I suppose I should. I keep thinking I use my action with the getting out. Yes, I'm going to turn and I'm going to fire a crossbow at the tentacle. 20 to hit
20 does hit.
for 9,
Okay.
and then I will make. Yes, that's it. And then I'm also gonna bring J. Edgar a little bit closer to me, so that he's in my vicinity, probably like 5 feet away.
Okay. Perfect. So then that's going to come up to Tevin, who is just going to just from his distance still shoot his crossbow with a 22 to hit for 7 damage to this tentacle monster. He is, as he's shooting, he's yelling out, guys, what can I do? Do you need help with anything? Can I help you with anything? What's going on?
I'm fine. Make sure Valerian's okay.
Oh, I got this.
All right, perfect.
Make sure Luminora is safe.
I can do that.
Make sure you're safe.
Oh, okay. And then Cass, that is back to you.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna try to stab it again with the spear. That is only an 8.
An 8 misses.
Alright, spear butt.
Spear butt.
That is a 20.
The 20 does hit. Surprising.
Chad, you didn't even try to sound sad about that. It 8 misses.
That is 8 damage.
For 8 damage? Okay. I mean, this one tentacle that you've hit a couple of times now is starting to have a little bit of wear and tear, but the creature itself is just flopping around, causing all sorts of hullabaloo.
How far away is like the monster itself?
The head of it, probably from the shoreline of about 50 to 60 feet.
Okay.
And then from there, it's going to go back down to the monster. As it's roaring, it's just been hit a couple of times. What it's going to do is it's going to take one of its tentacles and just swipe sideways at Cass there, who has been hitting it. Does a 17 hit?
17 does not hit.
What about an 18?
Does not hit.
So as this tentacle slides across the shore,
I'm a short dwarf. I duck under it.
yeah, and kind of get your shield up. It kind of goes over. As it comes back, the same sort of thing. It's just ripping and roaring, just can't seem to hit anything with that. And then to that, it's going to go to Luminora.
Okay. I think I'm gonna stay where I am. Quick question. If I enter a symbiotic entity and use my Halo of Spores, could I use that on the tentacle?
It's part of the creature, but you would have to get closer to do so.
Right. Okay. Just wondering about that. But from where I am, if I'm correct, Chill Touch, I want to aim for the monster's head. So Chill Touch has a range of 120 feet. From where I am, I'm 45 feet away from the shoreline. And the monster's head is about 60 feet. So with that.
Yeah, you could reach that.
Okay. So I'm going to try that. 25 to hit.
25 does hit.
Monster's head. There we go. And 3 damage.
Okay.
And that'll be the end.
So as you do that, this decrepit corporeal hand just shoots out, just flies past all the tentacles, just skimming across the water, and just right in its face. You just see it, a little bit of purple and blue crackle across its face, as then it just quickly goes to being just so dark and black again that purple and blue are gone as the hand disappears, and it takes that damage. So then Valerian.
Okay. From where I am, I'm gonna send J. Edgar over to the head or the body of this thing, just to go in and start trying to distracting it, just making little flybys at its many eyes. And then I'm going to take a crossbow shot, crossbow shot at it, at the actual body of it.
Okay. What is the range on your crossbow?
30 and then 120 for disadvantage. But with J. Edgar, it would just be a regular roll. So 14 to hit.
Okay. So a 14 does just barely hit.
Sweet. And that hits for 4. And then
Okay.
I'm going to make another shot at it.
Would this one also be a flat roll, or is that only for your first attack?
That would be only probably for my first attack, I imagine.
Okay, so a 13.
I'll leave that up to your discretion, but
So 13 misses.
Okay.
All right, that comes back up to Tevin, who is going to just take a few steps closer. Now, sorry, I just need to double check one more time. Hit it with a weapon attack. Okay. So Tevin is going to take a couple steps closer, still out of the range of the tentacles, but is going to cast Produce Flame and shoot it at the tentacles. With an 18, it hits. And as you notice that as the fire hits it, it sizzles, it sears, it starts to rear back a little bit, freaking out as it takes 16 damage.
Thing doesn't seem to like fire. Unfortunately, I don't have any way to do that.
And then Cass, that's to you.
Well, I'm just gonna keep stabbing this tentacle that's right by me, because it's about all I can do. That is a 24 to hit.
24 does hit.
For 7 piercing.
Okay.
And then offhand spear butt. That is also a 24 to hit.
24 still hits, believe it or not.
For 8 bludgeoning.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, as you're just swinging away on it, the front, the back, the tentacle is reacting, starting to look more and more wrecked. You can notice that this tentacle is actually starting to look pretty heavily cut into, especially after your multiple attacks on it. It doesn't look nearly as strong. And as you hit it with your spear butt, it's going to be this monster's turn, who is then going to use the tentacle that you just cut into to swipe at you. Cass, again, can't hit worth a damn, because I'm assuming 14 does not hit.
Nope, 14 doesn't hit.
And then the second one is going to, as it does that one, then the other tentacle is going to swing the other way towards Valerian. Valerian, does a 14 hit you?
I think it barely hit. No, it does not. Sorry, I have 15.
Does not hit.
Nope.
Okay. And then it's going to use one of its legendary reactions. So as these two tentacles swing away, the tentacles will then circle up and come smashing down on top of, I think it's just Cass and Valerian, who are up close. I need you guys to give me a dex save.
That is a natural 20 that goes down to a 19.
13 for me.
All right. So then, as this comes down, this shockwave, lands next to you, but also between these. So both of you take 7 points of damage, first off. And then, as the shockwave kind of hits, which is, some sand and dirt and everything, you notice that some sludge from the tentacles spray towards each other between the two. And these two sludge humanoid monsters kind of stand up in between the two tentacles, and they will inevitably act on that same initiative coming towards you guys.
Oh boy. What I wouldn't give for a little bit more area of effectability.
It's really a party now.
And then that will be Luminora.
Alright, I'm trying to picture where they are, so it's the two tentacles.
Yeah, so if you look at the map, one tentacle is about here. One tentacle.
Oh, the map's black for me. It has been this entire time.
I'm so good at this. Awesome. I'm so glad Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that better? Down at the bottom?
Yeah, I see something. Nope. Yep.
Yeah, I see just like the shoreline and the dock.
So
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay. That's why I was asking you like how many feet? Like it was literally just like all in my head.
Well, this was just to kind of give a little bit of a reference. So one tentacle basically is, take the dock and then up to about here. The other tentacle from about here, into the water.
You can always use the draw tool and like kind of draw squiggly.
Oh, I did not know that I had that. Okay. Freehand. So here's like a tentacle. Here's like a tentacle. And then as of right now, like there's Cass, there's Valerian. And then these two like sludge monsters are kind of like right there.
And where's like the main body?
Yay.
Okay. And where am I? Just for range.
You're technically slightly off of camera.
Okay.
Don't worry about the distance. You're about 50 from the shoreline is about 50 feet.
Okay.
To the main body.
Okay.
I just did this quickly just for a reference.
Yeah, that helped a lot, honestly, because I was just trying to figure
I
out.
didn't realize you guys couldn't see the map, so I've been like pinging on it this entire time. And you guys weren't seeing anything. That's super cool. I'm so proud of myself. I'm good at this.
I'm going to cast Entangle on the two sludge monsters that just popped up between Valerian and Cass.
And what is the save on that?
14. That's what I thought. Yep, 14 is the spell save.
14? Okay.
Yeah, it's a strength save.
Strength save. Okay, cool. Okay. So one gets a 12, one gets an 11, so they both fail. That's super not great. So they're both...
That sounds pretty great.
So they're both stuck. But you do notice that as the entangle, like vines and stuff like that, are wrapping around them, that the vines are kind of like seeping into the sludge, but still it's holding them to some degree, to where they're not really moving. And then anything else that you want to do with your turn, Luminor?
I'm gonna move up a little bit closer, probably like 5 feet from the tentacle where Valerian is.
Okay, so like up over here?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. And then Valerian, that is your turn.
Okay. With J. Edgar still flying point for me, I'm going to make a crossbow shot at the head main body.
Okay.
How do I go? Oh, sorry. I was trying to figure out how to go back to like the main page of this. Sorry. Ooh, that's a 11. Or
Nat one, because it's outside of your range, is it not? Because you're shooting
that's
the
right.
main body.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a nat one. Yay.
You almost hit J. Edgar.
He definitely just looks at me like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
Exactly.
I am going to take a second shot at the closest little mud monster to me.
Okay.
And that is with advantage, correct? Since he's tangled up.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Yeah, they're restrained, so yeah.
They're restrained, so yeah.
22 to hit.
22 does hit.
Okay. Plus does 12 damage total. Sneak attack.
That sneak attack was only for the first one.
No, it's once per turn.
Once per turn. Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that... As your crossbow goes into it, crossbow bolt, sorry, you do notice that some of the sludge is starting to fall away, and even though it's quite literally by the spell's name, is entangled in these vines, as the sludge starts to drip away, you start to see more and more of those vines start to come out, as the sludge is starting to kind of fall away, but it is still standing. Right. And then from there, that is going to be Devin's turn. Kevin is going to run up to about here, still trying to stay out of the way of the tentacles should they choose to move. but then will cast produce flame once again at the closest tentacle right by Cass for a 17 to hit, and
That
does
was really well.
6 damage. As that happens, the tentacle sizzles even more, and it starts to droop and just kind of collapses into a puddle. As that tentacle is no longer right there. It basically has been burned. It's been hit enough to where it just kind of falls off and turns into just like a puddle along the beach. And then Cass, that is you.
Well, with this tentacle right by me gone, I'm gonna walk over to the sludge dude who's closest to me, and I'm gonna just stab with the spear.
Okay.
So that is a 20 to hit.
20 does hit.
That is 7 piercing.
Okay.
And then offhand spear butt. That is a 17 to hit
17 also hits.
for another 7.
All right. Perfect. And then that is now the back up to the monster's turn. What it's going to do is the tentacle that is still there, closest, that had basically taken out the dock there, is going to swing itself towards Valerian.
Or it could not.
Absolute crap over here. I'm assuming that a 13 does not hit.
You assume correctly, sir.
All right, but then it's going to, as it misses, going to swing back around for another 13. How? I need different dice. Okay, so it just swings back and forth. Still nothing happening. It's at that point in time, you do notice that one of the other tentacles that was off to the side is just slowly being, that was over here, is slowly just kind of like repositioning itself, almost like balance this monster in the shore, in the shallow water. Starts to slide its way over, and then that's going to be back to Luminora.
Okay. I would like to run up on the sludge monster closest to Valerian and I, and use my scimitar on him. Sorry, can you guys hear that like tinging?
No.
Okay, good. 22 to hit.
22 hits.
6 slashing.
It looks very, very messed up for being something composed of basically sludge. It almost looks wiry at this point in time. You know, just as you're cutting into it, as you cut into it with your scimitar, just sludge drops to the ground, but somehow it's still standing. And then that's going to be Valerian.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking 50 feet. I don't think. How far am I away from like the water, the actual water?
Oh, I got it collect, yeah.
About 10 feet.
10 feet. Okay. Crap. Alrighty. I'm going to stay put, and I'm going to use my steady aim to make an attack at the body of the big guy. A crossbow attack, to be specific. So that didn't need to do that. But a 12.
12 misses.
And in horrible crushing defeat, that's my turn.
All right, so then that's going to come back up to Tevin, who now is going to be like, "Oh, geez, guys," and then is going to run more over to this side. Obviously, he's not too worried about the sludge monsters; they're just kind of like stuck there, and is going to throw out. Not even. He's going to. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's going to run up to the tentacle that is still there, and use a searing smite on it, which is a DC.
Well, he's got to swing a weapon.
Well, and swing his mace. Sorry, at the same time. With a 15, which just barely hits. And then a fails the con save, but only for 7 damage. Sorry, 10 damage. Well, onto the tentacle. And then that will be Cass. Your turn.
How far away am I from that tentacle that smashed the dock?
About 30 feet.
Perfect. I'm gonna stow my spear and pull out my javelin of lightning. And I'm gonna line it up so I throw it through both the entangled guys into the tentacle.
Oh no, I forgot you had this javelin. Okay, yeah. Let's do it. Roll.
I love it.
That is a 16 to hit.
It does.
So both of the two sludge guys are going to have to make dex saves at disadvantage because they're entangled against my against a DC 13.
Both fail.
So the tentacle takes 26 lightning damage, or 4 piercing, 22 lightning, and then both sludge guys take 22 lightning.
Both sludge guys just explode. And I do mean that literally, because, well, hang on, because your last turn you were stabbing them with your jab, right?
I stabbed it with a spear, yeah.
Okay, so that would put you within 5 feet range. I know that the Javelin of Lightning has different mechanics, so that's totally fine. But that'd put you within 5 feet range of the first guy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to roll me a con save. DC 13.
Is this poison?
It is.
Alright, I have advantage on con saves against poison.
Fantastic.
That is a 17.
Okay, perfect. And then I do need, on top of that, strength saving throw, DC 13.
That is only a 5.
Okay, so, how do you want to do this? Explain how this javelin lightning debauchery happens, because this is quite impressive.
So I step just a hair back, holding the javelin there, and as I'm sitting there aiming, you can just see it start to almost crackle and shake and transform from a javelin into almost a bolt. So I'm like Zeus, and I just hurl this thing through both of them over into that thing where it just creates a whole arc of lightning from my hand all the way into that thing.
Fantastic. So the javelin goes through the first one, it explodes, it sizzles, goes through the second one, explodes, sizzles, flies into the tentacle. The first one explodes towards you with a strength save of 5. You are covered in this sludge, and you are stuck. Almost like as the sludge is being electrified, it hardens as it explodes onto you, and you are frozen in place. At the end of your next turn, you can do a strength save. Or sorry, at the start of your next turn, you can do a strength save. If you fail, then just after a full turn, then it'll be back to you. But if you pass, you can take your turn. Luminora, since you were on the other side and had used your scimitar into the other sludge monster, I do need you.
I thought she attacked the tentacle.
Oh, you did? Did you?
No,
attack
I attacked the sludge monster closest to Valerian and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as Circle of the Spores, you are immune to poison, correct? You're not immune.
I don't think so.
Not yet.
No. Okay, then I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw. It's a DC 13.
Okay. A 19?
So a 19 passes. But then I also need a Strength saving throw, also a DC 13.
That would be a 3.
So as Cass throws this javelin, both these sludge monsters explode in a crackling, lightning, thunderous spectacle. Both of you are covered in this sludge and immobilized because of it.
I think some got in my mouth.
Tyler, your sex tape.
Grody.
Sorry, I had to. And then that's going to be the monster's turn, who is then going to take its one tentacle that is right there by Valerian, is going to swing it. Oh my goodness. I'm assuming that a 7 misses because
It sure does.
doesn't hit you. But what about a 15?
15 barely hits.
Okay, perfect. So I will need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Alrighty. 22.
Okay, so a 22 saves, but I did roll max damage on that. So you're going to take 14 points of damage.
I'm down.
Ruh-roh. So you go down. Just as this tentacle just swings and smacks into you. Just
Hey-oh.
knocks you over. Okay. And then that will be Luminora's turn, who is currently immobilized. So give me a strength saving throw. It's going to be a DC 13.
My bell is officially rung.
Okay. That's okay. Nothing, you don't take any more damage. It just means that that is your turn, unfortunately.
Okay, so I'm not caught.
You're still stuck until the start of your next turn.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then Valerian, I need a death saving throw.
Oh, yes. Where are those on the character sheet? I've only used those on
Click on the actual word death saves, like right in the middle.
death saves. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's say nat 20.
Are you kidding me?
Hey.
You stand up you're at what HP?
Yep, you're back up with 20 HP. This game is horseshit. I didn't
keep
want
me
to say it,
down.
I said it 4 times.
Can't keep me down.
No, that's incredible. Basically, what happens is this tentacle hits you, just knocks you, your feet go up in the air, you hit the ground, just and then as you breathe out, you sit back up and slowly get to your feet. Like you were down for like that much time is all. And from there, it's going to come back up to Tevin.
No, it's his turn.
Oh, that is your turn.
That's the very beginning of his turn where he
It's
makes
at
the death save.
You're right. Thank
Ooh,
you.
That's right.
But he
But
does
is
have
that
to
my-
stand up.
Which is half my movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then do I still have an action and all that?
Oh, yeah. That's just half your
Oh,
movement, that's all.
Sweet.
This is
Nice. I did just happen to come across a greater healing potion, so I'm gonna pop that quick.
okay. Are you going to use that as your action to take the full amount, or are you going to roll for it by using your bonus action for it?
What is the full amount?
20.
Oh, that sounds pretty nice. Otherwise it's was it 2 or
44 plus 4. So minimum 8.
I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna use a bonus action for it.
Okay, roll your 4d4 and add 4.
16. Not bad. Okay, I can live with that.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
All day. All right. So since I still have an action, I really should, but I won't. No, I definitely will. The tentacle that knocked me the heck out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a shot at that guy. Actually, I'm gonna have J. Edgar come in and fly interference first, and then I'm gonna take a shot at him.
Interference.
Yeah, you had a whole Chris Tucker moment.
Yeah, I really did.
You got knocked out.
Hey, it is Friday.
Hey.
So that is an 18 to hit,
18 hits.
for a total of 12 piercing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, this tentacle is starting to look pretty messed up as well. But you notice as this is going on, to the of the 4 tentacles that smashed onto the shore by up by you guys, the other outer 2 are starting to kind of like make their way in almost to balance this creature. And you notice also, actually, anyone that wants to give me a perception check really quickly, just to see what the face of this monster is looking like.
Oh, sorry.
Was that everybody?
Oh,
or is
no,
that
we
a one?
know.
I got a 4.
Somehow with a nat 1, Luminora still rolled higher than you.
She's got,
Yeah,
she has high wisdom and proficiency.
I mean, basically, Valerian, as you're shooting into this tentacle and you're starting to see that it's withering away, even though you had been shooting towards the head of this monster, you do notice that, like, some of the eyes are starting to, like, run. It's starting to look like, even though you haven't been hitting the body of it a lot, more just the arms and tentacles, it does look like it is getting weaker. It's not as strong, it's not as well put together anymore. And then from there, that will be Tevin, who is going to run up just behind Valerian there. He's going to hand you just a regular healing potion, which is 2d4 plus 2. And then since he's behind you, he's then going to cast Produce Flame at this tentacle as well for a 23 to hit for 14 damage.
Evan is rolling really well to hit.
He is. I don't know what's going on there.
We love Tevin.
I mean, I'm fine with it, I guess. So go ahead and roll me a 2d4. Valerian, please.
Oh, he gives it to me. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Basically going to use like his bonus action. So
6.
No, plus 2, so
plus
4.
2, so 4.
Oh, 4.
Hey, you got your
Love it.
20. Look at that.
Yay.
And then
It says 21.
cast. That is you.
Alright, so it's a strength to try to break out of the sludge.
Yeah, you bust out, so you still have your full turn.
Alright, well,
Oh.
I'm just gonna start. I mean, because unfortunately I've got dwarf legs, so I'm gonna walk over get as closer to this tentacle as I can, and then I guess I'll just throw a regular javelin at it because I can't get close enough to melee.
To this
I was
tentacle, or the one that is creeping its way up the.
was the one creeping up with it. How close is that one?
From where you are, probably about 30 feet.
Yeah, I can't get to either way, so I'm gonna go over towards the one that we've been hitting then.
Okay.
Alright. Throw a regular javelin. That is a 23 to hit.
Well, a 23 definitely does hit.
For 5 piercing.
Okay. So as that happens, you notice that this other tentacle, the javelin goes into it, it almost peels. As then the part upshore kind of just like dissolves into a sludge, no longer forming shape. The other tentacle kind of withers back into the water. And then it's a really big bummer that you guys all decided to kind of huddle together. Because I need everyone to give me a dex saving throw. As those 2 other tentacles that were kind of like making their way up the shore just lift and come back down, capping the party in with about 20 feet, like within a 20-foot radius.
I got a 12.
I got a 7.
I got a 7. Dave, I think you got a 6.
Yeah, so yeah, 6.
Well,
Not much worse, but not great.
Yeah.
well, everyone unfortunately fails that one, including Tevin.
Oh, Tevin.
Heavy.
And everyone will take 17 points of damage.
That hurts. That hurts a lot.
And once again, 2 more of those sludge monsters pop up in the wake of the shockwave.
Kind of in the same area, or
Yeah, now basically, you're all within like this area. So one sludge monster is going to be like right here, one right there. And I'm pretty sure that everyone else is literally all just like right over there.
I'd probably be right about there.
Okay.
Because I'm short and stubby legs.
That's right. But then, Luminora, that is your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna enter symbiotic entity.
Okay.
Was that 12 or 16?
17 damage.
Or I'm sorry, for symbiotic entity for the temporary hit points.
It's 4 per level, so 16.
16. Okay, and I'm going to use. Can I use Chad? Can I use it? Halo of Spores this turn with just entering symbiotic entity.
I believe so, yeah. Because that's a bonus action, and then
well, no, it's an action for symbiotic entity, but then a reaction for Halo.
Oh, symbiotic is an action. I thought that was a bonus action, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an action. Okay, I'm gonna use that on the tentacle. Is it within 5 or 10 feet? Is
10
it 5 feet?
Okay. And it's 14 is your spell save?
Yes.
It's poison, not necrotic?
It's necrotic.
It is necrotic. Okay. So it fails its save, and is it 8?
Yeah, it's 8 because she's in symbiotic.
Okay. That was on the tentacle.
Yes. And for bonus action, can I use Healing Word on Tevin?
Would you be,
Because that was an action, a reaction, and then a bonus action.
Yeah, but I'm thinking by going into symbiotic entity, if that would be...
It's not a spell, it doesn't...
It's not... Then yeah, go for it.
There it is. Oh. Come on. Here we go. 5 healing.
Thank you. And then Valerian, that is your turn.
Okay, and then just remind me quick, the 2 sludge monsters that popped up, they popped up next to me, or?
Within 5 to 10 feet. Probably
Okay.
within 10 feet, because you were pretty close to where the tentacle actually came down.
Alrighty. Excuse me. I am gonna back up away from them and to the tentacle, probably about an extra 15, 20 feet. And then, and then I'm going to have J. Edgar fly back to the body of this thing, and I'm gonna make a crossbow shot. 24 to hit.
24 does hit.
For a total of 9 piercing.
Isn't the main body at long range?
Yes, but
That's-
then
yeah.
by having Jagger there, it rated the flat roll.
Flat roll, so no sneak.
Yeah, it would be no sneak attack. That's right. I forgot to do it.
So is it just the 4 then?
Yeah, just 4.
Okay.
I forgot my plan to offset that was to use steady aim to give myself advantage, and I don't know. But I guess I would have already had. Never. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna make my second attack. I'm not even gonna try it at that guy. I'm gonna shoot for probably the closest sludge monster
Okay.
for 22 to hit
22 does hit.
for another 4.
Okay. Yeah. As your crossbow goes into it, it almost goes all the way through the shoulder. You see a little bit of a hole in its shoulder, and then it just kind of keeps making its way. And then anything else that you are wanting to do with your turn, or is that pretty much it?
Nothing else I can do really.
Okay, cool.
Might take a few more steps back towards land.
Okay.
Take my 30 feet.
And then, so then from there, it's going to go to Tevin, who is going to produce flame just at the first sludge monster right there. The one that's closest to him. Rolling really well to hit. That's ridiculous. 23 to hit for 4 damage. And then is going to just kind of take a step back and hand just another regular healing potion to Luminora. for his bonus action
Yep.
in case she wants to use it. He's just kind of freaked out at this point in time. He doesn't know why he ran up in here, but he did. And then from there, that will be Cass.
All right. How far away am I from Valerian and Luminora?
So from Valerian, you're probably about 20, 25 feet as he kind of retreated a little, not retreated, but like backed away from the guest. You're probably about 10 to 15 feet from Luminora and probably about the same from Tevin as well. But you do have two sludge monsters in between you.
Right. Well, for my action, I am going to cast Bless on myself, Valerian, and Luminora.
Okay.
Which gives us a D4 to all attack rolls and saving throws.
Bless your soul.
And for my bonus action, I'm going to drink a greater healing potion because after multiple fails, that's adding up even on my HP. So that is 12 back for me as I rolled really bad on that.
All right. And then that will be the...
Well, I'm going to move a little bit further away so I'm not as... maybe spread myself out so maybe if it slams again, I don't get caught in the middle of it.
Okay. And then from there, that is going to be the monster's turn, but instead it's going to use its little minions. The first one is going to attack Tevin. Perfect. Which is going to be 4. Hits for just 3, basically. It's Sludge Hand. It swings it down. It comes to a point, almost Terminator 2 style, and slashes across Tevin, just barely cutting into him, just for 3 points of damage. And then the second one is going to do the same thing to Luminora. I'm assuming that a 7 does not hit you.
Nope.
Cool. That one just swings and misses. And then it is Luminora's turn.
Okay. Quick question. Can you remind me again when I'm in symbiotic entity, when I attack with the scimitar?
Adds 1d6 necrotic damage to your weapon attacks.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna attack this tentacle by me with my scimitar.
Okay.
Well, first I'm gonna do Halo's Force. Sorry.
Fails, so that takes 8.
Okay, and then I'll attack with my scimitar. 8 to hit.
Oh, an 8 does not. But you do have Bless.
But that can only get it up to a 12.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that won't be enough even if you rolled a 4. You couldn't hit it.
Okay.
All right. And then Valerian, that is you.
So Luminora's engaged with one of the sludgy
With the
guys?
tentacle.
Tentacle, okay. Alright.
And one of the sludgy guys attacked her.
Gotcha. Given my distance at this point, going to have J. Edgar fly the 60 or so feet back to one of these sludge guys. And again, fly interference for me while I make a crossbow shot at him. I'm not very happy about his... That's not... I didn't mean to click that, I'm sorry. Please ignore.
Well, 22 hits.
22. Okay, hits. 4, 5. And then I'm not going to use my sneak attack on that one. But I will take my second shot at the tentacle that Luminora's battling with.
Okay.
For 7. 7 to hit.
Does not.
Damn it. That sucks. Alright.
All right. So then that will be up to Tevin, who is straight up not having a good time. And is going to turn and produce flame towards the main tentacle as he calls out, Hey guys, since these things come from the tentacles, we should try and destroy them. And is going to take a couple of steps out of the way. He will get an opportunity attack on him. which just misses. Take a couple steps off to the side so that he can cast Produce Flame. With a nat 20 on the tentacle. Or Dave, sorry, if it is, it's 1d8 plus 4 for the damage. Obviously you don't double the plus 4.
Where are you getting the plus 4? It's just 1d8 for a cantrip.
I don't know, it just says 8 plus 4 for the damage.
Oh, because that was maybe the crit?
Oh, that would make sense. But say, it should be no surprise at this point in time. This thing doesn't like fire. Would I double all of it, or just the initial roll?
If it's vulnerable to fire, it doubles all of it.
Sweet. So that is going to be 424 damage. This thing is looking sizzled and hurt. You hear off in the distance of the lake, just screeching and screaming. If you were to look over at the monster in the middle of the lake, you see that just so much of the sludge is just like melting away, and you're starting to be able to see past and through this creature. And then that will be Cass.
Alright. So Tevin attacked the tentacle, correct?
Yes.
Alright. Can I reach the other approaching tentacle with my movement?
Yes. You're probably about like 15 feet away.
Alright. I'm gonna walk up to that other approaching tentacle, and I am going to swing my spear into it. So that is an 18 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And you know what? I have had enough of this. I am going to pump a first level Divine Smite onto it. So
Do it.
Mark off my spell slot.
Do it.
So that is 6. Let's see. That is 8 piercing and then 6 radiant, or not, 4 radiant and 8 piercing, or 10 piercing. Yeah,
Just wait.
it's only 4 radiant and then it's 10 piercing because of the dueling style. I rolled a 1 and a 3 on my smite dice.
So you rolled 14.
Yeah, 14 total damage. 4 of it is radiant.
You well, describe what happens. It's not enough to finish it, but it is so badly hurt.
No, I still have my spear butt.
Roll that first.
That is a 25 to hit.
How do you want to do this? No reason to roll. It has 1.
I stab the spear into the tentacle to pin it to the ground, and then I just take my shield and use it as a blunt carving thing and just keep repeatedly slamming it in to carve through the tentacle with the shield, not even the spear.
Love that.
And as you are hitting just into the tentacle, every single time you like repeatedly smash it, the 2 sludge monsters just kind of like twitch and start to like melt and fall away into just nothingness. Just puddles all around. Tevin is looking around, looks quite fearful, but he's like, well, at least they don't like fire. And then anyone can give me a perception check.
That is an 18.
Go with these.
Well, with it was going to be a DC 15 anyways. But with an 18, Cass, you do notice as you're like after you had smashed this tentacle away and it just kind of like fell into sludge and nothingness, and even in the middle of the lake, the sludge just dropped and you know the water kind of stills. You notice that some of the sludge that was left on the shore almost starts rolling back into the lake.
We really need to be able to hit this thing with fire. I'm worried this thing's going to pull itself back together.
That's a good thing. That's something I don't have.
Me either.
I mean, we could just not be next to the water. We can.
Yeah, obviously move away, but we gotta Well, I'm gonna go get my javelin back. I want that lightning javelin back that's in the ground. That came in handy.
It's just sticking out of one of the shattered boats on the other side of where the dock used to be.
Yeah, so I retrieve that. All right. That hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That one roughed me up pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't feel so great either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think we need to find some place. We were gonna make camp here anyway, but
We should go more into the woods a little bit.
yeah, we should definitely get away from this lake.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I promise we're coming up on a break here. I'm very sorry. You get your way away from the shore into the woods a little bit. You set up camp. Everyone is starting to kind of wind down so that they can heal, everything like that. Can I have all three of you give me a Constitution saving throw?
How long after are we from the battle?
How long afterwards?
Yeah.
Maybe about an hour or so.
Okay, yeah, so Bless is gone.
So
Yeah.
14 for me.
Is this poison or is this...
Just a straight con save. It's not for poison or anything like that.
That is a 17.
Okay.
I got a 12.
Okay. Perfect. So, you guys are getting ready for the night. Is there any last minute things that you really want to do?
I'm gonna, have our tent set up in that close group and then set up the alarm spell around our campsite, around our tents, that 20-foot cube. Or
Okay.
20-foot square on the ground.
I have J. Edgar kind of perched up on a tree or something nearby. You're just, flying around, maybe even just to help keep a little eye out.
Okay. All right. So everyone goes to sleep in the middle of the night. Most people aren't having the most restful of sleep, given the circumstances and everything like that. But what we are going to do is we're going to cut to Luminora. As you are asleep, you feel a moment of unease, a little bit of rustling, and you open your eyes and you see a shadow standing over you not standing over you, more like sitting next to you at the edge of your little cot or whatever. You go to move, but you can't. You're almost like in a sleep paralysis sort of state.
Comes back. That is one of my biggest fears in real life. Nah, fam.
Second.
Sorry about that, bud. As the shadow kind of starts to lean in and starts to speak, you notice the outline of, the shape of the face, and also the voice, and you notice it and recognize it as your mother. She goes, "Hey there, kiddo. Look at how strong you've gotten. I've missed you."
So in this sleep paralysis, can I speak?
You can speak, you just can't move.
Okay. Mom, is that you?
Who else would it be, kid?
My imagination.
The world hasn't been as forgiving, but you've learned so much and grown so much. I've missed it all. I'm so sorry, honey.
I've missed you so much. What happened?
That might be a story for another time.
Why are you here? How are you here?
All in good time. But, I would have loved to been able to see you grow into who you are today. And, I would have been able to if you hadn't been so weak before or selfish to save me. Have you even tried to find the truth? Or just telling yourself that the cycle of life continues and maybe answers will present themselves someday?
No, of course I'm trying to find the truth. I think about it every day.
It's no wonder that Caranthus exiled you, or why your father Angor left.
Wait, I'm sorry. My father?
Luminora, mind your manners and please don't interrupt. You know what? I'm sorry, kiddo. I guess being here has made me bitter. But I shouldn't blame you for not doing more. It just means that I failed you. But you have my dagger. Trust it.
Trust it. What do you mean by that?
Can't you tell? Or do I have to spell it out for you? And as she says that, she reaches out with her hand almost to like brush your cheek and leans forward like she's going to kiss your forehead. And before anything can happen, you hear just... You see an arrow fly through this shadowy figure. It starts turning into just like loose smoke, and you see the soft, gentle hand that was once resembling your mother's in the outline of her face turn to something more decrepit with these deep yellow eyes as it goes, and then it's gone. And just from the other side of your tent, you hear, Lumi? Are you okay? I heard whimpers and voices, and when I came to check on you, I saw that thing. And that's where we're going to end this episode.
Nah.
Oh my god.
Luminora, you got shit on by your mama.
Hey, that wasn't my mama. I was gonna be like, ooh, she sounds kind of like a bitch.
I'm sorry, that was funny. No wonder your dad left. I'm sorry. That got me so hard.
All right. If the listeners like this, I know that this episode went quite long compared to what we normally try to do. But if you like this and would like to support us, please head over to our Instagram page at Kobolds in the Basement Pod. Find us on Facebook or go support our Buy Me a Coffee over at buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. When you do subscribe, let us know that it is the Kobolds that got you to subscribe so that your member exclusive merch reflects that. Also, like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts because it really does help. It also helps you stay up to date on upcoming stoof. Is there anything going on with the other Kobolds that they would like to share, promote, and talk about?
Well, I mean, if anybody's interested, they can find me on Twitter at nutcase168. But I'd also like to give a shout out now that this is our first recording since we started publishing, to one of our listeners, friend of, three of us here, Keller, who's been giving us great feedback on how to make this a better podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Love
you,
you,
Keller.
Anything for you guys?
Not really, just a thank you to anybody and everybody that's been listening or following along. We really, really do appreciate it.
Yeah, that would be the same for me. Thank you for dealing with our growth, especially mine.
All right, perfect. And then also just as a reminder for you nerds out there, if you like other nerd stuff besides D&D, check out the All Things Nerd podcast. Best way to get in touch there is allthingsnerdpod.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We talk about other nerdy stuff over there. Other than that, thank you all, and goodbye from Kobolds in the Basement.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.